Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Charlotte Ashman. Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything educational and inspirational. Now guys, in this video, we'll be going through some PEP ability test questions, all right? So in a bit to help students to prep for the upcoming 2026 PEP ability test, we will be hosting classes every single day from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Now, these classes will be hosted on YouTube. And if persons want to actually do the work that we'll be doing, they can register online on Learning Hub Academy, and they'll have the opportunity to actually do the work. All right, so please share the link with your friends, guys. If you know somebody who is taking the PEP ability test, grade 6 PEP ability and curriculum-based test, just share the link, let them know that Dr. Ashman, the Diva Educator, is live and we're ready to go. Now, I know we had over 100 students registered for class today. I hope everybody got the YouTube link because we were scheduled to be on Zoom and I changed it because I saw the numbers. So we are on YouTube. If you have a friend who is taking PEP, let them know that we're on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. All right, so guys, we're gonna jump into today's session. And when you come in, if you're on Facebook, I think you can actually communicate. So you can go ahead and say what you want to say. I see Ariana is saying hello, Ariana, and Oshkosh saying hi, and I'm saying hi back. Okay. All right. So guys, today we're going to be using the online version of this workbook, or PEP ability test workbook. And guys, I'm going to suggest, well, it's 2 weeks ago, but this is a very good book, especially for the quantitative reasoning, this particular workbook. Right, you can get it at Kingston Bookshop. You can get it on our website, learninghubgroup.com. Just go to textbooks and you can purchase it, or you can get it at all the major bookstores. Nia is saying hello. All right, so guys, let's just jump into our session. Remember to tell your friends that we're live, so tell them to join us. We want them to join us. We want them to benefit. All right, so let's jump into class. I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so we're on the Learning Hub Academy. That's the website that we're using for class. It's learninghubacademy.com. And there's a class on it called Free PEP Rescue Class. Free PEP Rescue Class. Go ahead and register for that class, guys. It is totally free. But there is a caveat. Let me tell you what you're going to get access to. When you register, I'm going to give you access to this PEP ability test workbook that we're going to be using. You're going to also get access to our MOEY, the ministry approved ability test workbook that I have on the market. And I will also give you access to a few quizzes. And if you want to continue, then you pay for the class. All right. So that's how that will go. But every day until exam, I'm going to come on and I'm going to help you guys to prep for the exam. Somebody's asking me to repeat the link. It's www.learninghubacademy.com. That's learninghubacademy.com. All right, that's our website, learninghubacademy.com. All right, so go ahead and register. When you go on Learning Hub, you're going to register, and then you're going to add the free PEP rescue class. All right, guys, let's jump into the meat of the matter. All right, guys, so you'll notice that I have this PEP ability test workbook opened on screen. And what I like about this workbook, if you look closely, I'm going to zoom in, you'll notice that we have classification, analogies, reading, logical deduction, text completion, sequence, essential part, artificial language, patterning, representing quantities, comparing quantities, data analysis, approximation, and problem solving. Guys, those are typically the areas that the ministry focus on in regards to the ability test. So this is how we structure information in this particular textbook. And we're going to run through very quickly. So we teach the concept and then we give you work to do. So you'll notice, guys, that when I click the page, we're teaching classification. But guys, once you register on this program, you're going to get access to this workbook. Go ahead, register so you can get access. It's Learning Hub Academy, and just click on free PEP rescue class. So guys, you're going to get access to all of this. And you know the beautiful thing by now, because exam is just two weeks away, you should be at section 2 where you're doing the mock exams. And the mock exams are structured like the real exam, right? So when you go through the mock exam, it's gonna look very, very similar to how the real exam looks, all right? So I want you to jump onto the website and register for the free PEP rescue class and just jump into the ability test, this ability test workbook. All right, so let's jump into classification, guys. All right, by now you guys know what classification is. It's a grouping of objects based on similarities or a set of rules. All right, so guys, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to get maybe about 2 classification questions in the exam. Nia is saying that she cannot see. Is Nia the only person who can't see? Guys, if you can see, let me know. Tell me. Chantal, are you seeing clearly? Claudette Barrett, are you seeing? Let me know if you can see the screen. So guys, I was saying that you are going to get classification. All right, let me zoom in. I guess you mean you cannot see because I need to zoom in some more. All right, so yeah. So guys, these questions, they're so easy. All my students are going to get them correct because all you're looking for, guys, 3 things in this situation, 3 things will have something in common and 1 won't. So if you look at eye, ears, nose, lungs, you are going to look for what 3 of them have in common. And then the one that doesn't have it, that is the one that's the odd one out, right? So, all right, so Nia is saying she cannot see. Deloy, can you see? Because I zoomed all the way in. All right, so yes, you guys can see. Okay, great. All right, so which does not belong? Guys, I want you to tell me which doesn't belong, and I also want you to tell me why. So you're gonna tell me which doesn't belong, and you're also going to tell me why. And we're gonna run through classification. By now, you all know classification. So, I mean, come on. You all know classification. So quickly tell me which one doesn't belong and why, guys. Come on, quickly, quickly. So Nia, yes, it is lungs, but why? Why? I want you to tell me why. Don't just put it out there. Why? Why are you selecting that? All right, so I see you guys are not posting. All right, so if you look at these guys, you're looking at the eyes, the ears, the nose. Those are all sense organs, right? The lung is the lungs. That's the only one that's not sense organs, right? So that's the reason why, guys. So guys, I don't want you to go in the exam and guess. I don't want to guessing around here, right, guys? I don't want to guessing. I want when you go in the exam and you see the classification question, which is going to come. Remember, I'm tell you, the classification question is going to come. Guys, you are going to know why you're choosing it. So if you see which is the odd one out, guys, look for, you're going to get forward. Look for the one that doesn't belong. So 3 things will have something in common. If I say to you, Karen, Simone, Sandra, Andrew. Come on, guys. Karen, Simone, Sandra, Andrew. Which one wouldn't not belong? Karen, Sandra, Simone, Andrew. Odd one out. Come on, guys. What's the odd one out? Odd one out. Come on. Guys, come on. Odd one out. I call 3 female names. Good, Deloitte Foster. Andrew, because Andrew would be a male. Guys, come on. So I called 3 female and a male. So you're going to look at it and quickly in your head, I want you to think, wow, 3 female, a male, male is the odd one out. So guys, I want you to know why you're choosing what you're choosing. Good job, Chantal. Right? So guys, you have to figure it out. It's not a guessing. And guys, remember, the ability test is just critical thinking. And really and truly, you just need to know to grade 3 material, maybe grade 4, but it's nothing to stress you out, all right? Yes, so Deloy is saying he's a male. Good job. All right, so let's get to our next question. Let's go back to our book. All right, so all right, so guys, let's look at, I'm going to give you, all right, the ministry love to give you these, guys, when I tell you, so them love to give you this question, Sometimes they don't ask no easy, they ask you odd one out that will provoke critical thought. Look at this question, guys. Look at this question. It says, I'm going to read this question for you. It says, hold on, guys. Let me get back that for you. All right. So it says, all of the activities in the box have one thing in common. And then no, so they give you a box and they tell you that all the activities in the box has one thing in common, right? They all have one thing in common. And then they're asking you now to, oh, somebody's saying they can't see. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better. They're asking you to see what else you could add in the box. All right, guys, I'm going to focus on the box. I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to stop chatting and focus on the box, guys. Look at the box. And I want to see if you can figure out what everything there have in common. All right. So somebody said, Miss, I can't see. All right. So Candy Cane, I see where you're saying it's talking about social studies. All right, guys, I want you to look at the box. It says the use of curry in Jamaican culinary culture, marijuana use for spiritual and medicinal purposes, intricately wrought gold jewelry, the Ital diet, introduction of social practices like arranged marriages. Cuisine includes roti, mango chutney, wheat flour, and eggplant. So guys, look at all of these, right? Look at all of these, guys, right? So they give you a box with a number of items, and then they ask you which could be included in the box. Guys, are you hearing me? All right, so they're asking which could be included in the box. All right, so I'm going to show you the options now, guys. All right, so guys, if you looked at the options, if you look at all of these, you'll realize that these are things that the East Indians brought to Jamaica, right? So naturally, guys, you're going to find the
correct
option is going to be something, if it's going to be included in the box, it would be something that the East Indians contributed to Jamaica. All right. So guys, sometimes you will get a question like that where you'll get a box. All right, I realize that that's a little bit blurry. So guys, sometimes you'll get a question like that where you have a box and you have some items in the box, and then they'll ask you what else could be added to the box. All right, so that's a type of classification question as well. All right. All right, so in that case, guys, you're gonna look in the box, you're gonna see what else could be added to the box. All right, we're gonna skip along. All right, so of course, guys, you're gonna get a ton of, you're gonna get at least 2 classification questions. Let's look at this one, guys. Look at this classification question. It says, select the animal that does not belong to the group. Look at that one. Select the animal that doesn't belong to the group. All right, so select the animal that does not belong to the group. Guys, can you figure that one out? So we have camels, wildcats, donkeys, coyotes, which does not belong. All right, again, guys, here you're going to look at what 3 of them have in common, and the one that doesn't have that thing in common, that's going to be your odd one out. So you have camels, wildcats, donkeys, coyotes. All right? All right, guys, so if you look at all of these, you'll realize that camels, desert animals, wildcats, desert animals, coyotes, desert animals, but donkey, that's not a desert animal. So when we talk about desert animal, we're talking about animals that thrive in the desert, right? So that would be your odd one out. All right, so you're going to look for what 3 of them will have in common, and then the one that doesn't have it, that's going to be your odd one out. All right, so we're going to jump from classification, guys, and all right, what I'm going to do, guys, look at this one. I'm going to jump over to analogies. Again, guys, you are going to get analogy question, right? So what you're going to do with your analogy questions, they are going to come and you're going to get them right, is you're going to look at the first part of the analogy and you're going to see the association. So stable is to horse as kennel is to what? All right, so guys, you're going to look at the question. Stable is to horse as kennel is to whatever. Now, guys, what is the relationship between stable and horse? You're going to look at that relationship and then you're going to figure out what the answer is. All right, so stable is to horse as kennel is to. All right, what's the relationship between stable and horse, guys? That's the first thing I want you to tell me. So all of you are getting it right. Stable is to horse as kennel is to dog. Yes, you're saying dog. Candy Cane is saying dog. Millicent is saying dog. Ariana is saying dog. Oshkosh is saying, yeah, guys, it's dog. But what is the relationship, guys? When you're reasoning out this question, I want you to tell me stable, horse, kennel. What's the relationship? Because guys, once you see the analogy question and you can figure out the relationship on the left side, then you're going to figure out the right side easily because you're going to apply that same relationship to the right side. All right, guys, and I see one person posting dog because you'd find a dog in a kennel. All right, anybody else? All right, Oshkosh, I would give you because you say because they live in it. All right, so the home of the horse, yes, and then you're looking for now the home of the dog. All right, good job, guys, good job. All right, guys, when you get it right, I'm going to tell your parents to give you 100 Jamaican dollars. All right, so we're going to let them pay. All right, good job. All right, guys, I'm going to ease off this particular workbook for a little bit because I realized that because I'm streaming two things on my screen you guys are not seeing. So we have tons of resources that you can use on the website. So I'm going to jump down to, let me see if you see this better. All right. This is a past paper question, so let's look at it. All right, guys, tell me if you can see this a little bit better. All right, are you guys seeing this? All right, yeah, that's better. So let me take off Oshkosh off the screen. All right, guys, I want you to tell me this one. Examine the options and select the one that does not belong in the group. Now, this guy is, guys, this is a past paper question. Obstacle, hurdle, barrier, entrance. I want you guys to tell me which is the odd one out, right? Which does not belong. Obstacle, hurdle, barrier, entrance. What's the odd one out, guys? All right, so I'm not seeing any responses from you guys. Oh, somebody said Miss remove the answer. I didn't even see the answer. All right, so since the answer is there, geniuses, since the answer is there, what I want you guys to do, yeah, the answer is there. I didn't see that, Mrs. Old. All right, since you guys see the answer, tell me why that is the answer. Tell me why that is the answer, right? So we have obstacle, all right? We have obstacle, we have hurdle, we have barrier, we have entrance, right? So let me see what you guys are saying. So Ariana is saying entrance because all of those are in the Olympics. No. Millicent is saying entrance, Miss. Why? Chantal is saying everything else stops you. Nia is saying entrance. Keith is saying because all of the others block your way. All right, guys. So if you look at it, obstacle, hurdle, barrier, guys, they're all synonyms, right? They mean the same thing. Obstacle, hurdle, barrier. So the one that is different, the odd one out, is going to be entrance. All right, good job, guys. All right, let me just pull another, and that's a past paper question. Let me pull once and you're not seeing the answer. Hold on, guys, hold on. Let me just put the book in the view mode so you don't see the answer. All right, give me a second, guys. Guys, remember to share the Zoom link. Initially, I'd sent out a Zoom link, and then I changed to YouTube. I don't know if persons got the YouTube link. So if you have friends who are taking the PEP, just send them the link. All right, guys, I want to just do it in view mode. All right, here's a lovely question, and this is another past paper question. Let's look at it. Share my screen with you. All right, guys, I want you to work this one out, guys. Make sure I have a pencil. I want you to work this one out. All right, it says which option reflects a pattern? Which option reflects a pattern? Guys, can you see? All right, so we have, this is a past paper question. So we have NORSTZ. We have NQTVWZ. We have NPSUXZ. And then we have NQRSTZ. All right, guys, I want to see which one reflects a pattern. All right, so let's see if you can see a pattern here. Of course, you're going to get a pattern in question. All right, so let's look at these 4 words, guys. Guys, you want me to zoom in a little bit more? Somebody's saying it's blurry. All right, these are the words, but I wanted to keep the alphabet on screen, so I don't think I can zoom in anymore. All right, so let's look at these 4 words, guys, and see what's going on. All right, so PM is saying, Roxanne is saying N. What's Roxanne saying? Okay, a lot of persons answering, so let's go in quickly. All right, so Francis, you're saying NPSUXZ. Keith, you're saying the same thing. All right, Candy Kane is saying B. Wow, Antonio Brown is saying NORSTZ. All right, so I see some of you guessing. Some of you guessing, guys. Let's look at it. Let's look at it, guys. Let's look at it. All right, guys, we're gonna use this that the ministry gives you. You see this snippet from the alphabet? We're gonna use that. Now, let's look at NORSTZ, all right? So N to O, you skip nothing. O to R, you're gonna skip 2 letters. So right away we can see, I don't see any pattern there. So you skip nothing, then you skip 2 letters. Look at R to S, you skip nothing. And then S to T, you skip nothing. So there's no pattern. I'm not seeing any pattern for the first one. Look at N, Q, T, V, W, Z. All right, N to Q, you're skipping 2 letters there. All right, Q to T, you're also skipping 2 letters. T to V, you're skipping 1 letter. So that's 2 to 1. To W, you're skipping nothing. So this shows no pattern. Let's look at NPSUXZ. N to P, you're skipping 1 letter. P to S, you're skipping 2, so that is 1, 2. S to U, you're skipping 1. And then U to X, you're skipping 2. And then X to Z, you're skipping 1. This looks like a pattern, guys. So we're skipping 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, let's look at the last one. N to Q. And we skip 2 letters. Then Q to R, we skip nothing. R to S, we skip nothing. So the answer is going to be NPSUXZ. So basically, all I did to find this was to look at how many letters we skipped. All right. All right, guys, we're going to take a little break. I'm going to put a question on screen, and we're taking a little break and just answer some students, and then get back to our class. Okay. All right, let's put a question up that you guys are going to work out. I'm going to take a 2 minutes break. All right, guys, here is a question that I'm going to put up on screen. All right, so which word is least similar to the word in bold category? All right, that's the question that you guys are going to focus on. Which word is least similar? Again, guys, this is a MOE question, right? So which word is least similar to the word in bold type? Guys, I want you to give me not just the answer, but I want you to tell me why you're selecting whatever option as the answer, all right? So I'm not interested in the answer. I want to know why you're selecting whatever you're selecting as the answer. Guys, remember, if you have somebody taking the PEP, just share the link with them, please. Just share the link. Let them know we're on YouTube and we're going to be here every single day until exams. All right. All right, guys, we're going to start back in 30 seconds. All right, let's move on, guys. All right, guys, so what's the answer here? So you have group, class, set, standard. What's the answer? All right, guys, you got this, you got this, you got this. Okay, so Roxanne Brown is saying standard because it's not a group of things. B, because it's not supported. I don't know what that means. Nia, it's, all right, guys, so group, class, set. Basically, again, guys, synonym describing the same thing, right? Standard, standard is not similar to those words. So the odd one out right there would be standard, all right? Yeah, guys. Okay, so moving right along, guys, let's look at another question. So guys, you notice how these classification questions can be worded. You have 3 words describing the same thing: group, class, set, all right? And then now you have standard, which doesn't mean group, class, or set. It's not describing the same thing. That, in this case, would be the odd one out, all right? So standard would be describing a collection of items, right? So that's the odd one out. All right, guys, here's another one. I think we looked at this. Oops, our test timed out on us. Let's see if we can retake it. 1 second, guys. Let's see if we can retake this test. It was a time test, so it timed out on us. So let's see if we can retake it. All right, yeah, we can take it again. All right, here's another one that reflects a pattern. So I'm going to share the screen with you. Guys, again, this is a past paper question. Now, if you're in the exam and you get this, let's say you never did this in class, it's pretty simple. Guys, we're doing a time test, so if we take more than 10 minutes, it's going to time out on us and it's going to grade us, okay? That's what happened just now. Guys, if you're in the exam and you see a question like this, which option reflects a pattern, all they want you to do, guys, is check to see. You're going to look at the options and see the pattern that the letters are following, the organization of the letters. What I do is just check to see how many letters we're skipping. That's all I do right here, right? So you'll notice that they normally give you a little snippet of the letters of the alphabet. And guys, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to work with this because all you're doing here, you're looking at AE. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see better. See if I can zoom in. If I zoom in too much, you might not see the alphabet. I want the alphabet on screen. All right, okay. All right, guys, I hope you can see. All right, so guys, if you look at this, you're going to see AEHLM, you're going to see ACFGM, you're going to see AJBKM, you're going to see ADGJM, right? All right, let's look at this, guys. I noticed some of you saying it's hard to see. All right, now guys, look at this. AEHLM, ACFGM, and you have AJBKM. All right, guys, look at this. A to E. All you do, you look at your little alphabet that they give you, and you look at A to E, and I'm looking to see how many letters we're skipping. So from A to E, we're skipping 3 letters. E to H, and we look from E to H, we're skipping 2. So we're going from 3 to 2. We're looking from H to L. So H to L, we're skipping 1, 2, 3. So 3, 2, 3. And L to M, we're skipping nothing. So no pattern here. Let's look at ACFGM. All right, A to C, we're skipping 1. C to F, we're skipping 2. F to G, we're skipping nothing. So that's not it either, right? So notice we're skipping 1 from A to C. From C to F, we're skipping D and E, we're skipping 2. And from F to G, we're skipping nothing. So guys, that's not it. Look at AJBKM. If we look at AJBKM, from A to J, how many letters are we skipping? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry, A to J, yeah, 8 letters we're skipping. And then we go to B. Guys, I don't see a pattern there. B to K. All right, so guys, A to J, we're skipping 8. Look, let's go from B to K. Sorry, let's go from J to B. So we're going backwards. So guys, write that down for me. So from A to J, we're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're skipping 8. And then now, guys, we're going from J to B. So let's see what's going on here. We're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're skipping 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we're skipping 7. And then we go from B to K. Let's see what's going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're skipping 7. And let's go from B to K. So went from A to J, went from J to B, went from B to K, and then we're going from K to M. We're skipping 1. Don't see any pattern here. So let's look at the last one, A, D, G, J, M. Look from A to D. We're skipping 2 letters. Let's look from D to G. We're skipping 2 letters again. Let's look from G to J. We're skipping 2 letters. Let's look from J to M. We're skipping 2 letters. So guys, if you look at this, the last one, we're skipping 2 letters all the way. That looks like a pattern. All right? All right, guys. So I want you guys to just give me some feedback. Do you understand how to solve this? Let's say you get a question like this in the exam. Would you understand how to solve this, guys? Let's see if I can make this any bigger. But guys, if I do, you're not going to see the alphabet. All right. So guys, if you get a question like this and you were asked to find the pattern, could you find the pattern? Could you find a pattern, guys? I did Zoom Deloitte Foster. Yes, okay. So guys, you could find a pattern. That is excellent. All right, great. So from this, the last one, we're skipping 2 each time. All right, so that's the pattern, guys. All right, so yes, I see everybody. Alsheen says kind of. All right, Alsheen, stop a minute and let's look at this. It's so easy, Alsheen. No kind of business around here. All you're going to do, Alsheen, is look let's use the one that we said was the answer. Look at this. How these letters are organized. You have A, then D, then G, then J, then M. All right. So A to D. All right. You have A, B, C, D. So you have 2 letters between A and D, B and C. All right. So you skip 2 letters, right, to get to D. Look from D to J, D to G, D, E, F, G. So your E and F would be 2 letters that you skip. So you notice from A to D, you skip 2 letters. From D to G, you skip 2 letters. Look at G to J. From G to J, you're going to skip 2 again. And from J to M, you're going to skip 2 again. So that's a pattern. You're going 2, it's advancing. Skip 2 letters, skip 2 letters, skip 2 letters. That's how you're getting the next letter. So to get to D, you skip 2 letters. To get to G, you skip 2 letters. To get to J, to get from G to J, you skip 2 letters, right? So guys, with patterning, you're just going to look to see if you have a consistent pattern. And guys, remember now, if you are doing a patterning question, the pattern must hold true. It must hold true, right? So it must be the same. So if you have 4 letters, if you found a pattern that you skip 2 letters, then you skip 1, then the next one is 2, then the next one is 1. That's a pattern. But if you skip 2, then 6, then 8, then 1, that is not a pattern, guys. You must have consistency, right? So it's increasing by 2. 2 letters, then 2 letters, then 2 letters, then 2 letters. All right. So that's how you find your pattern. All right, guys, I hope you get it. I hope you get it. And of course, guys, you are going to get a patterning question on the exam. All right, I'm going to take a little break from the screen. Persons are telling me, Miss, I cannot see, Miss, I cannot see. Tomorrow, I'm going to do one thing on screen so that we don't fight for space so much. All right, let's give some work from. Guys, you see, we have a lot of resources, you know. We're going to give some work from this. All right, so guys, I want you to just post in the chat the answer. All right, so we have one that says cup is to coffee as bowl is to, guys, you have to listen to the option. Cup is to coffee as bowl is to, listen to the option, so guys, dish, soup, spoon, food. So cup is to coffee as bowl is to dish, soup, spoon, food. All right, guys, I want you to drop that on the screen, what bowl is to. All right, I'm going to try and see if I can grab this on screen. Cup is to coffee, guys, as bowl is to dish, soup, spoon, food. And guys, I want you to tell me why you're choosing what you're choosing. Whatever it is that you're choosing, guys, I want you to tell me why you're selecting that. All right, so I'm giving you a minute to just put what bowl is to. All right, here's the question. All right, guys, let me just share my screen with you. All right, so guys, that's the question. Cup is to coffee as bowl is to what? So guys, a question like this, cup is to coffee as bowl is to. So remember, here we go again, it's an analogy. So you're going to look at the first part of the question, cup is to coffee, and then you're going to say, okay, what's the association between cup and coffee? And then that's how you're going to get the second part of the analogy, because you're going to use the association that you figured out for the first part, and you are going to apply it to the second part. So cup is to coffee as bowl is to what, guys? Okay, guys, if you get it right, I'm going to make sure that your parents give you $100. Cup is to coffee as bowl is to what? All right, nobody's giving that. I don't see anybody answering that. Copy, good job. Okay, I see the answers now. Soup, yes, bowl is to soup. All right, so guys, what's the association? So you normally drink your coffee out of a cup, and you're going to drink you're going to use a bowl to drink your soup, right? So it's just what it is served in, what it's consumed out of. Coffee is consumed out of a cup, and your soup from a bowl. You have your soup from a bowl. Good job, guys. Oh God, everybody got that right. Yes, and guys, I like the fact that you're giving the explanation. All right, that's what I want. Okay, good job, guys. Good job. All the persons who got it right, make sure that your parents give you that $100 because they don't love to pay up. Let them pay up. All right, let's look at another question. All right, we're gonna just pull another question. All right, guys, here's another type of question that the ministry loves to give. And tomorrow I want to do some quantitative questions. So we're gonna do some working out, all right? Now, they love to ask questions about essential parts. You are going to get an essential part question, all right? So you notice today is the easy day. What is essential part? So basically, this type of critical thinking question forces you to think about a situation, and it most times you have to figure out what something is made of, what something cannot do without, what is really a component that makes the thing what it is. All right. In this particular case, I have a plane cannot be flown without. And then you have pilots, passengers, fuel, and airport. A plane cannot be flown without pilots, passengers, fuel, and airport. So what is the essential part right here, guys? So guys, when you get a question like this, you have to get it right because it is so easy. All you're going to do is to say, okay, what is necessary, right, for a plane to fly? That's what it's asking. Do they have to have pilots to fly a plane? Think about it. Do they have to have passengers to fly the plane? Do they have to have fuel to fly the plane? Do they have to have an airport to fly the plane? And you can do a process of elimination because you can say, all right, let us say that they have no airports. Can the plane fly? Yes, a plane can fly without an airport. For real, yeah. You don't have to have an airport, right? So it's not absolutely necessary. Of course, it's good that we have airports because of course they guide the planes to come in and take off and all of that, right? But if you don't have an airport, the plane can still fly, right? That's what that is saying. Now, think about passengers. Can you fly a plane without passengers? Of course. I mean, you have many planes that people just jump on by themselves and go about their business. You don't need passengers. It's not absolutely necessary because, guys, remember now, when you think about essential part questions, like this particular question, you're thinking about what is absolutely necessary. And it is not absolutely necessary to have passengers for your plane to fly. Just like how I can drive my car by myself. I don't need passengers. Pilot don't need passengers to fly his plane, okay? The next one now is pilots. Now, this is kind of a little tricky, but you know, you do have planes that can fly on autopilots, right? So the thing that is absolutely necessary, meaning if you don't have it, you're in problem, is fuel. And I noticed that most of you said fuel, so that's good. Please collect your $100 from your parents. And guys, remember, I'm pulling the questions from this book, all right? Tomorrow when we come on, we'll be better prepared in terms of having, and all the questions that I'm pulling, guys, could be questions that you get on the exam. I'm pulling the type of questions that the ministry love to ask. So I skip over the questions that you may not get. Guys, like I said, if you're struggling with the quantitative reasoning aspect of the exam, and we're going to do some of that tomorrow, this is a good book to buy. You can buy it at the major bookstores, or you can buy it on my website, learninghubgroup.com. All right, guys, another way that these classification questions can be phrased is identify the odd one out. Odd means doesn't belong, the odd one out, right? So, guys, this is a tricky question. If you get it right, let your parents give you $200. This question is valued at $200. I'm telling you. All right, so guys, you ready? Are you ready? All right, guys. Here's the $200 question. No. Let's go. All right, so identify the odd one out, guys. And I'm going to type it on screen. Identify the odd one out. You have pepper. Guys, think about it, Pepper. You have carrot. You have tomato. And you have bananas. All right, so guys, look at this. You have pepper. You have carrot. You have tomato. You have banana. Guys, this is a $200 question. Your parents have to pay you. Come on, guys. It's not banana. Guys, okay, here's what I want you to do. My geniuses, Genius Tashina Hunter. I want you to tell me why you're selecting what you're selecting. You can't just post it. It's there. Okay, guys, I'm going to post it. See there? Guys, the options are pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. What's the odd one out? Pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. Guys, banana, like that one here, kind of a little tricky, little tricky. All right, so guys, let me see. Guys, you can't, if you put just the answer, I'm not going to let your parents give you the $200. Guys, you have to put the reason why. You have to put why you're selecting what you're selecting. So, guys, you have to put it in a sentence. So you have to say, pepper, guys, remember the options. Pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. Pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. All right? Roxanne, you're saying that your parents are broke? All right, let me repeat again, guys. It's pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. Guys, you're doing exam in 2 weeks and I'm not seeing you getting it right, No, sir. Come on, guys. You have to go work day and night, no? All right, tomato, banana, you have pepper, and then you have carrots. All right, so guys, come. Sooner I get it right, guys. What's going on? What's going on with my little geniuses? All right. Headley is saying, I think it's pepper. Alshane is saying, I pick pepper because it's the only spicy thing there. Guys, you're missing something, you're missing something. Guys, you're missing something, man. Sure. All right, guys, I'm really saddened that exam is in 2 weeks and you're getting just an easy question wrong. Guys, man. All right, let me tell you why. I don't see anybody with the correct answer and explanation. Nobody. Come on, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to raise the price of that reward to $300 because nobody's getting it right. No. All right. So I see somebody say carrot because it's grown underground. I see somebody say a banana is a fruit. I see somebody say, I think it's pepper. Headley saying pepper. Banana. Guys, again, it's pepper, carrot, tomato, banana, right? Terry is saying pepper, fools. I don't know what that is, fool, SCRSED, whatever. That is carrot because it's the only grown food. Shane, banana because it's a fruit. All right, guys, let me take you out your misery. Nobody get that reward money You know what the answer is, guys? The answer, pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. It's carrot, guys. Because when you think about it, pepper, fruit, has seeds. Tomato, fruit, seeds. Remember, guys, your once they have seeds, they're botanically fruits. And then you have banana, that's a fruit. So guys, the odd one out is going to be the vegetable, which is your carrot. All right, guys. So guys, I don't want you to just post the answer. I want you to give me an explanation. All right, cool. All right, so guys, we're gonna do one last one. Here's another one. And guys, remember, I'm working from this book. This is my ability test workbook. This book, guys, it has a multiplicity of styles in terms of things that we use to help you to think, right? So you'll notice that if you start preparing for PEP from grade 4, right? Sorry, for the ability test from grade 4, this is a great book to use because it uses a lot of figural, spatial, it uses a lot of qualitative, quantitative reasoning, association, comparison, calculation, sequences, categorization. This book helps you to think critically, all right? Okay, guys, I'm going to use one last one. It says, which object does not go with the others? And I'm actually going to type these in. All right, so we have chair, right? We have sofa. I'm going to try and see if I can find this and put it on screen. And then we have recliner. So we have chair, sofa, recliner, and then we have table. All right, guys, so we have chair, sofa, recliner, and table. All right, guys, which is the odd one out? Which object does not go with the others? Chair, come on, guys. Sofa, recliner, table. All right, guys, come on. All right, guys, I'm going to be nice to you. If you get it right, parents must give you $100. All right, so you get $100 extra on your lunch money for tomorrow. So we have chair, we have table, we have, sorry, chair, sofa, recliner, table. Chair, sofa, recliner, table. Guys, you cannot just put the answer. Remember, I want to hear the reasoning, all right? So we have chair, we have sofa, we have recliner, and we have table. Whatever you choose, my geniuses, you have to tell me why you're choosing it, all right? That's all I want. So, Alice, Ayo, you're not getting the money. What is a recliner? Guys, look it up. Oh, guys, that's something I want to tell you. When I tutor students, I tell them this. If you see a word and you don't know what it means, just look it up. I mean, this is not the real exam. This is a time when you're learning. So, and when you do self-discovery, it helps to cement the knowledge in your head. So guys, look it up. Look up a recliner. Go on Google. Look at images. Look at the definition. See what it means. All right. All right. So, all right. So Millicent says table because you normally eat on a table. All right, guys. So a chair is something that you sit on. A sofa is something that you sit on. A table is not something that you sit on. A recliner is something that you sit on. And guys, you know that in the exam, just by process of elimination, you could get this even if you didn't know what recliner means. Because check this out, my geniuses. So if you're in the exam and you know 2 of them, so you know that chair is something that you sit on. You know that sofa is something that you sit on. And you say to yourself, Jesus, I don't know what recliner means, but you know that table is not something that you sit on. So you know that table don't go with chair and sofa. So you know that recliner must be something that you sit on too. So recliner, sofa, and chair, those would be together, and the odd one out naturally would be table. Right? It's not something that you sit on. All right, guys, tomorrow I am going to do this all over again. I am going to do some quantitative reasoning, and I'm going to figure out how I can just have one image on screen so we don't have a situation where, you know, you can't see, because when I pull up the screen, the 2 things that I'm I have on screen, that's taking up all of the space. All right, I'm streaming. That's the word I was looking for. All right, so tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we'll do it all over again, and we'll have more space on screen. And just tell your friends. I know that about 100 and something students sign up today, and that's why I switched to YouTube. But I'm going to do it on YouTube anyway, so you guys can watch the videos after we're done. And we want to go through at least tomorrow 40 questions. All right, so we're going to try and see if we can do 40 questions tomorrow. Guys, remember, this is the website that we're using. Let me show you the website, so you can always register. And remember, I told you, this is the website, guys. Hold on a second. It's Learning Hub Academy. That's the website that we're using, Learning Hub Academy. Let me go to the homepage. I want you guys to sign up, and there is a course on it called Free PEP Rescue. Just sign up for that course. It's free. You get to use a couple of things in the course. If you really want to use the course, if you sign up and you like it, of course, you're going to have to pay for it, but you can sign up for free. So go ahead, guys, go to the website, sign up. And if you want to use the material that is there, then you pay for it. You get ebooks, you get past paper questions, you get your quizzes, everything is there in the course, all right? So the website is learninghubacademy.com. You know, our parent website is learninghubgroup.com. I want you to go ahead, I want you to sign up, and then I want you to go over, log into the course, and just add that free course to your account, and you can use it, all right? And if you want to keep using it, you pay for it, okay? It's $20 US to pay for it per week. All right, guys, I just want to motivate you. I want you to know that you got this. You have 2 weeks to go. Guys, you're gonna have to put down your video games. You're gonna have to, give TV a little break, put in some extra work. Guys, you should have been working, but I mean, if you weren't working as seriously as you should, it's not too late. Just put in the work, guys. Tomorrow we're gonna do some quantitative reasoning, and just put in an extra 2 hours every day, extra hour every day. Just put in some work, guys. Remember, you have 3 exams coming up. You have your curriculum-based tests, you have your ability test, okay? So a lot of times we focus on the ability test, but I'm going to mix these live sessions. I'm going to focus on both ability, and I'm going to focus on curriculum-based tests. All right, thank you so much for joining me this evening, guys. Remember to tell your friends. I'm going to use the same Zoom link. So tell your friends to join us tomorrow, same time. We're going to do it all over again at 6 o'clock. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The channel is Pep Talk with Dr. Charlotte Ashman. Okay, that's me. Pep Talk with Dr. Charlotte Ashman. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Share the channel with your friends. Tell them to subscribe. Sign up on the website, guys, so you can get to participate in the course. The course is the Free PEP Rescue. So sign up for it. Subscribe to the website. That's all I'm asking to you. And that's all I'm asking you to do, not asking to pay for anything. If you sign up on the website and you want to continue using it, then you pay for it. All right? To subscribe to YouTube, it's absolutely free. Share the YouTube links with your friend and let them sign up. All right, thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a good day. And parents, please pay up. All the children who won, give them their $100. Motivate them. All right, bye, guys.